Rachel. I'm her bitch. And together we're talking with fantasy school. Um, yeah. That's what this video is titled. Yeah. Because when actually says oh yeah. Because when I was going for a title, first thing I said was and then with that title, I thought that's not enough of a title. And I said, what would make this title complete? Oh yeah. So I included it in the title.
Is there a lake in there?
Is there a lick in there?
Oh yeah, it's like a very standard beginning for people. Just like standard beginning sentence.
Right, because it's like, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, right, but they don't necessarily say the what was I gonna say part.
Yeah.
One like, one viewer, one prayer. Well, you know what they say, Ruben? The YouTube channel that prays together stays together, and that's one to grow on. So I'm a spider. So what? I did some cleaning and stuff earlier, and after I took a shower, and it wasn't like the Johnny shirt was really dirty, but I had, while I was cleaning, gotten all the things out of this bag of stuff my daughter gave me for my birthday, I think, right?
For Christmas?
It had this shirt, that mug, this Fire
Maybe
Force
it
on
was
it.
your birthday.
Yeah, anyway, I brought it home and I had just left all the stuff in that bag. And then I just got around to cleaning it today, like taking the things out. And this was in there. I'd forgotten about it. Yeah, I love this show. This is a fantastic show. It's it's not currently in production. It needs to finish. They need an additional season of it for sure because it's wonderful.
Can I be annoying and ask you to roll a couple joints for me?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
Why don't we go out to the garage where the papers are?
Okay.
And I'll bring this with
Sorry,
me.
Pio, I have to take my shoes away. No. Oh, Capillo, don't get too comfortable. Oh, yes.
Capillo has a bit of a foot fetish.
I say she's the ultimate girly girl. She loves shoes.
She loves the smell of our feet, I think. But we could say shoes.
I like to pretend that.
Sure. In a little while, Rachel, one of the things I find to do, one of the reasons why we're live streaming is because when live streaming, I find it, well, like trouble needs to be watched to eat, I kind of need to be watched to cook. So I figure when it's time to make the hamburgers, I can start a live stream and then after a little bit I'll make some hamburgers is what I was thinking. So in a little bit I will make some hamburgers is my point.
I think flipper thing I put it in the dishwasher.
That's fine. We got multiple flipper things.
Okay.
They're called spatulas, Rachel.
Spatulas.
Oh. They're called spatulas, Rachel.
I don't have my phone on me, so I don't know what the people are saying.
Why don't you go get it? These papers are called Megan's rolling papers. You need eye contact with poop. I like that name for a rolling paper. Megan's rolling papers. These are the rolling papers that they sold. They sold at the weed store we went to in San Luis Obispo. Right. If somebody looks away while you're pooping, you're going to pinch the loaf off halfway, and then you're going to have, half a poop still lodged in your butt. But what I've learned, Ruben, is that if you just poop a little bit at a time, it evaporates. You don't even need to sit down on the toilet. You just poop in your pants a little at a time and wait for it to evaporate.
For some reason, that's how I feel like cleaning works. Like I was in the bathroom upstairs the other day, and I noticed that there was like dust collecting on the floor, and I'm like, huh? I guess that's what happens over time.
Yeah, things get dirty over time. Shocking realization there. So I did some cleaning today. I worked more on the carpet in the living room, which was clearly not shampooed before they sold the house, but was just vacuumed. Because it's like the whole thing has a slightly dingy quality to it, even parts where we've not really walked around on at all. So I didn't realize it was dingy really until I cleaned up a couple of spots, and then you got these bright, shiny looking spots on your carpet and then dingy carpet around it. So today I did more of the carpet, got more of the spots off. Now we have a bigger, shiny spot. I tried to kind of fade it a little bit so it doesn't look quite so dramatic. But I'm going to have to do the whole carpet before Christmas. So, I feel like glad that I have this Craftsman vacuum. It's a good way to shampoo your rugs. It's very effective. I just got a bucket of soapy water, a big scrub brush, and scrub the carpet with it, and then vacuum it up with that thing. With this attachment that's just like, it's made to do that. It's basically like a carpet cleaning attachment. So, yeah, it's kind of a lot of work, but what in this world isn't kind of a lot of work? Well, you're looking at it. Live stream. Live streaming is not a lot of work. Live streaming is just comfortable, easy, natural, no effort, pleasantness. You may have noticed this string. So I found that the two string strategy of glasses retention, which basically treats your glasses like either a necklace or glasses. That just didn't work for me. They got in the way too much, or like, I try to put them on my ears, but these things go behind. So now I have a one string solution. It's much better. This one string I have attached down on my belt with this thing. See? This is made for this sort of thing. And now I just go, okay, well, at the moment I have my hands occupied. Let me finish what I'm doing. So here's an example of this thing already doing its work one time already. I got up from the chair. This is much pretty. You need more. You're fine for the moment anyway. I got up from my chair. I'll demonstrate. I had my glasses on my lap like this inside. I didn't notice. How do you like Megan's rolling papers?
They're pretty good.
I don't really ever notice much about the rolling papers, but
No.
I like the fact that they're called Megan's rolling papers.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
like
funny
that
name
too.
for rolling papers. So I will demonstrate now. Watch this. Oh no. What? Oh, left my glasses on my lap. I stood up, but my glasses didn't hit the ground because this string is long enough to go from my waist to my eyes, but also not long enough to go all the way to the ground. This is a real ISTJ moment for me.
It is. That's why they call the ENTP the inventor.
Well, the thing is, something like this needs to be individuated, optimized to you. The reason I couldn't have string on the back is because, first of all, when it's down here and I put them on, the strings, there's two of them, so it's like I get caught up in the string and go, one string, no problem. It's just right there.
I'm so glad that you figured this out before I get glasses.
Well, you may have a different relationship with your glasses than I have with mine. We don't know.
I have a feeling I'll have a few.
Well, this is the first fob I ever made, but you can't really claim that I invented a fob. It's not a word you have a lot of cause to use these days. But I have legitimate cause to use it because something went wrong. Tap to retry. I think we're maybe disconnecting or something. No? Well, we're down to 2 people.
Yeah.
Oh, now it's 4. And the phone did briefly say something went wrong. Tap to retry.
Oh, weird.
I will spam as many laughs as this video gets likes.
I just liked Rubinar.
Now, Runar, I hope you mean women's laps. You're going to swim across as many women's laps as this video gets likes. Or men's laps, whatever. You get a bunch of grandmas and moms to sit next to one another.
Mm-hmm.
You got a bunch of tailor-made laps to swim across.
Maybe how can we do this without hurting the fragile? I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking they're more fragile than they actually are, but
I don't think you're considering how gently Ruben swims.
I'm not considering that. That's absolutely right.
He's one of the most gentle swimmers I've ever met. All-purpose laps? Well, you can't swim all-purpose laps because they have to be laps in water. You could swim, blast, play your laps, maybe become a jumper, and then you could be running laps and say you're swimming laps. Or you could be just lapping up milk. 1 lap, 2 laps, like that. You should have just said, I will provide as many laps as this video gets likes. Then you would be able to do those kind of laps.
Some people used to call the Lapalosas the laps. So you can see, I'm not a lap anymore, but you can see how many laps.
But now it makes me wish I had when you were Lapis, they nicknamed you Lapsy. Now you're not, so I can't nickname you that.
Lappy was my nickname in like freshman, sophomore year. I fucking hated it. I hated when they called me Lappy.
What about Lapples?
I probably would like that better. I don't know. Lapples?
Yeah. Hey there, my barrel of apples.
That's kind of cute. Like Lappy.
It's kind of condescending. You're doing the nickname of Lappy. It's kind of like calling a sport champ.
When I went to school in Pennsylvania, there were like the population of Rachels went up like 30%.
Technically, Rachel, when you went to Pennsylvania, the population of Rachels went up by 1.
Okay, yes, by me. Yes, by the 1. But then I met many other Rachels.
But it is true that Pennsylvania's population of Rachels went up when you moved there.
On purpose?
Well, sure, because it added 1 Rachel.
Oh, that's true. So, well, yeah. Well, I was the main Rachel, let's be real.
Well, of course, you've always been the main Rachel. When they talk about Rachel in the Bible, she was named after you in advance. God sent the parents a vision and said, name your daughter after this woman. And showed a picture of you in the future frolicking through some meadows. And they said, please, what is her name? And the Lord saith, Rachel. It echoed some too. Chol, 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 like that. And that's how the name Rachel came into existence.
That just took my breath away.
Well,
I feel so seen.
Hopefully you can recover your breath. Plus, unlike trouble, I think I'd prefer if people avert their gaze while you're lapping at milk, but still be standing near you.
But wait, honestly though, Rubenar, tell us the truth. Do you prefer to eat in the company of others?
Yeah, Ruben, come clean. Do you prefer to eat in the company of others? What am I getting? What am I doing? Oh, right. I'm turning this on. And the reason I'm doing it is because I'm going to. It rhymes with choke, poke, and toke. What am I going to do?
Smoke!
That's right. Dallas wants to know, Rachel, if you prefer to eat in the company of others.
Maybe one other person. Only one other person.
Despite having asked the question herself, you asking her, what about you, Rachel? Just, I never thought about that before. I would do the same thing.
I didn't, but I do prefer one other person being there.
When you eat?
Mm-hmm.
But don't you kind of graze? Don't we both kind of graze?
Yeah, I definitely, yeah. I mean, like, okay, so maybe it is better to eat alone. I do prefer the company.
I think it depends on the meal, right? Like, if you're going out to dinner, it's definitely better to be in the company of another person. Maybe even more than one person, depending on the context. But if you're cleaning, for example, you need something fast to eat, Well, then you don't want to be bothered with treating it like a meal. You just want nutrition in your belly as quickly as possible without any nonsense, right? So in that case, it's not. You might even say it's not even a meal, so it doesn't count as not wanting to eat in the company of others or something.
I like to have lunch with my dad, or if we got pizza, I would like to eat it then. My mom was a big one for family dinners.
That term will always freaking stab me in the
It makes
chest.
me pissed.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Makes me feel guilty.
I'm pissed because it makes me feel guilty because we did the best we could. I mean, what did these people want from us? We weren't going to save his life. That's just the plain facts of it.
You know, I know. It has nothing to do with his death. It has to do with the last stretch of his life. How much was I there for him? Really? And the answer is I got a C, you know? It's like I get a C or maybe a B minus. I was there. I was available. But I was letting him seek out more engagement rather than initiating it.
It was not right. I don't know. It was not right to have told us that.
With what Chad's mom said?
Yeah.
No, that was fucked up. But once that notion's out of the bag,
I wouldn't have thought of it before. I would have thought of other things. I always think of things that I could have done
I
differently.
mean, look, the problem was this. We still, to this day, do not eat at regular times.
Don't.
And I have no idea when I'm going to want to eat dinner. It's going to vary from day to day to day to day to day, you know? And so it's... It's not spinal spider. It's called so I'm a spider, so what? Go ahead, Rachel.
I have to deal with a lizard in the upstairs room.
I'll go get it. We'll go get it. The live stream. I'll go look for it, okay?
If there's so much clothes.
Okay, well then, I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
I step on
Yeah, not the end of the world, right? It'd be gross, but...
Yeah. I'll live with it.
Crazy quilts sound like an interesting hobby. Will you find materials that fit into your overall design aesthetic? Hi. Never considered crazy quilting. Am I missing some hidden conversation about crazy quilts? Sane quilting might get the job done as well. I don't really want to do any quilting per se, but if I were going to do any kind of a sewing project, quilting probably would be fine because it's just really sewing squares of fabric together, right? That's all the quilting is. All the quilting you want. That's a good band name.
All the quilting you want. That is good.
Or you know what's an even better band name? Rachel and Eric.
Oh, that's a good band name.
Mm-hmm. Maybe Rachel and Eric provide music.
That's our radio show.
That's a good radio show name, yeah.
Rachel and Eric provides music. Provide music.
You need a quilt large enough to catch Olivia's mocker nuts. I don't know what mocker nuts are. And Mr. and Mrs. Strauss. That would be a pretty good band name.
Mr. and Mrs. Strauss.
Hi, we're Mr. and Mrs. Strauss.
You know what though? It's too close to Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Isn't that a movie?
Mm-hmm.
That's not a band name, so I'm not worried about it. Mr. and Mrs. Strauss is totally different than Mr. and Mrs. Smith because we actually are Mr. and Mrs. Strauss. And what we would do in that band is we'd never say what our first names are.
I mean, that's kind of like how.
And then everybody after the show would come up to us and be like, "Hi, Mrs. Strauss. Hi, Mr. Strauss."
I just don't want us to be Mr. and Mrs. Smith related because that's the set that Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt met up on.
Well, the thing is, Rachel, our names are actually Mr. and Mrs. Strauss. So it doesn't have anything to do with that movie.
Okay.
Okay, fine. I get it. Your point is people are going to make the association.
I mean, I would.
Okay.
But.
How about.
No, wait.
What about. Well, we could call. Let's see. Eric and his wife. Rachel and her husband. That's a pretty good name.
Yeah, let's do that.
Rachel and her husband is a good name, actually.
Mr. and Mrs. Strauss isn't that? So you're like, I want to put the Smith there.
Well, I like Rachel's husband. Rachel and her husband better.
Rachel and her husband.
Yeah.
I like that too.
Or it could be Rachel and some guy. I'd be some guy. Yeah. Then after the show, everyone would be like, "Great job, Rachel. Great job, some guy."
They would.
The Lovely Folks? That's not a bad band name, Jeremiah Face. I kind of like The Lovely Folks. Possibly We're Lovely People.
I like the Lovely Folks too.
That's good. You have birds driving to your theater in Hummers, Dallas? Mongo Mind Minimalist. Something stopped by while you were being trolled. Fly Guy tries to alert you, but you were being trolled and banned him. Thanks to MBTI content. Okay, well, thank you, Winston's mom. I will try to unhide him. You don't like jazz?
driver stop by? What's the clientele like? Is it a variety of different people, or do you see a little bit of a stereotype of people who drive in Hummers?
Yeah, who drives Hummers? Well, I'll tell you. People who don't care about gas mileage. I'm gonna dance my way into your heart. I'm gonna dance so well and make you like me. I was thinking, a good way for me to start a song would be with the lyrics. I'm gonna dance my way into your heart.
Like that line right there is perfect for 1985 to like 1992.
I'm gonna dance my way into your heart. I think what that is, who says, okay, well, I was a little bit uncertain about you, but seeing how well you dance, now I'm convinced you are the one for me. Who would say that? They have to really be interested in dancing.
Well,
You would?
no.
That's what that
My
facial
dad
expression
and
said.
mom, like, they went to a wedding together,
Uh-huh.
and like, it was during the time when like, they do the line dancing, like the 2 rows of people, and then you meet up with your partner, and you do like the Soul Train kind of dance.
Okay.
And like apparently they were impressed with each other's dancing.
So they each danced their way into each other's hearts.
Mm-hmm.
Who knew?
Yeah, who knew?
I didn't think that was really possible, but I guess it is. Maybe I can dance my way into your heart, Rachel.
You already have.
Well, thanks.
I've retired my feet from dancing, so like, can I just like do a lot of voguing and maybe like?
You can't
that
dance
stuff?
you can't dance your way into my heart, but you can vogue your way into my heart.
Thank you.
My heart's not susceptible to regular dancing.
I could also do things with like glow sticks in your hands. What do they call that again? Strobing? Like strobe.
Well, also, Rachel, I know you probably don't have renewed hope, but I have renewed hope that we can see improvement in this. And if we don't from taking B12 pills, I want us to take you to get B12 shots. See what helps.
Alright.
I mean, no guarantees, but
Yeah, if we don't see anything from the injections,
then fine.
then I'm not, I don't want to, like,
Waste a lot of money on it.
Yeah.
Fine. But I want to at least, if we can see improvement in it, I want to. If we can see improvement in it just by B vitamins.
I don't even know what it's like. Yeah. Absolutely. Why not? I mean, I want to get hearing aids to help my hearing. I might as well do something to help my legs too.
Yeah. We'll deal with that next month. Okay.
Yes. I have a request.
What's that?
Sometime in the next couple weeks, can we watch the Barbie movie?
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. Is it out on streaming services? Cool. All right, let's read what's being said. I'm going to read it right now. Eric, what's jazz freestyle to me? Good reason to run away. Hashtag not all jazz.
Yeah. Hashtag normal jazz.
I mean, you know, I like some jazz stuff. I like Misty. It's a jazz song. Sung by Ella Fitzgerald. I found that out last. I may have known it before, but I forgot it. But when I went to see famous Ella Fitzgerald songs, that was one of them. It was listed. I like The Girl from Ipanema. I think you fairly call that a jazz song. And I like DJ Jazzy Jeff a lot. He's a jazz song. Anyway, I don't like jazz because, number one, it's got a super dorky name. Like if you want to name your kid just the most cringiest name in the world, then you get Jazz.
Oh no, I will always think of Jazz Hands.
Yeah, it's so Bob Fosse. It's more Bob Fosse than anything should ever be. There we go, a little bit of outside coming into us now. So I broke down all the boxes outside, and it's very nice to not have to look at those boxes anymore.
I'm so glad. Thank you for doing that.
Of course, darling. And previously I had thrown away the other parts of the blinds, but I still have the 3 big pieces of blind contraption that I need to cut with the angle grinder. And then we'll be more or less done with currently accumulated trash. But I used up most of 3 trash cans today. So, because, well, I moved trash that we had in the big trash can into one of the small trash cans. It's old trash that attracted a shit ton of little bugs. But I had forgotten about it. It's like trash that I put there one week when we had no more room and then forgot about it, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, we got 1 trash can worth of trash can left for the whole week. But fingers crossed, we can do it. I think no problem, realistically, we'll be able to, as long as we don't try to throw away any more boxes, nor we don't really have any more blind things to throw away.
I have 1 more box.
Yeah, 1 more box. Okay, 1 more box is fine. 1 more box we can do. And then we'll be like caught up on trash, you know? Feels like we've been behind the 8 ball on trash for a while now. How you feeling, Rachel?
I'm feeling good.
Good.
I was just thinking about all the stuff that I have to catch up on too.
Jeremiah Fix, we can bond over our mutual dislike of jazz. Well, people with any sort of intuition are not going to like jazz very much because it attempts to deviate from the number 1 rule of all music, which is intuitively resonate. It's like people whose musicianship skills are too good or something. The musicianship skills are so good that they can no longer play good music. That's what jazz is.
I don't really understand the music.
It's people with chops wanking, mostly. You know? People with good chops on their instruments wanking. To show you how sophisticatedly they can wank.
It's so weird though. Yeah.
You're not supposed to like it. You're supposed to be impressed, Rachel.
I mean, I guess if I was in the 1920s at a speakeasy, I definitely would be impressed by jazz music.
Well, that kind of jazz is great, right?
I think it is, sort of. Still, some of it I'm like, ugh. But
Again, not all 20s music is great, but I'd much rather listen to music you can dance to Charleston to than.
yeah, but a lot of the jazz was like that still.
Back then, in the
Yeah,
20s, I don't know. They kept a steady beat. They
did have. Make sure they had drums for sure.
Yeah, and there might be little solos, but everything else would be. I mean, the question of whether or not there should be instrument solos during a performance is kind of independent of genre, right? The answer is there should not.
Which I can stand when they do solos at concerts.
So, it's true that jazz has always had more instrument solos than maybe other forms of music, but there was at least a time period where it was still centered around songs, you know,
That's true.
like big bands or like a lady singer in front of.
Bye Bye Blackbird.
I don't know that one.
I don't know. My grandma used to sing it.
I think of 20 Million Bean. I kind of music. I kind of music.
That's like fucking Beatles.
I know, but
But it is. That's the
what
type.
20s.
That's what. Yeah, that's what grandma music was like.
It's a better example of 20s music than 20s music is.
Yeah. You know, I wish that they had like I understand that Baz Luhrmann uses like modern music in his movies.
Who's Baz Luhrmann?
He's a director.
Does he direct anything I know? Solitude. Solitude in red. Was he Artie
Romeo
or what?
and Juliet, like he's like Artie for teens.
Artie for teens,
and
huh?
20-year-olds, yeah, maybe.
That sounds a little bit like a poor mission, but maybe you could pull it off. Okay, so no, I've not seen any of the movies, but what were you asking me about him? Or were you telling me about
so
him?
you haven't seen any of his films, so he likes to use a modern soundtrack no matter like what time period the story is taking place. And he did that in The Great Gatsby, and like I really didn't like it. Like I really wish that they had the original, like, or at least a little bit more of the 20s music from the 20s.
I mean, it's a stupid idea to try to do that. You have to let the scene of the movie dictate to you what song to use, whether it be old, new, or whatever. Like in Thor Ragnarok, when he jumps out of the spaceship down onto the Rainbow Bridge, and the Led Zeppelin song starts playing. That song is absolutely perfect for that moment in that movie. You have to choose what kind of music goes with your movie accordingly, right? So obviously, trying to force a modern soundtrack onto The Great Gatsby. What do you mean by modern soundtrack? You mean like songs, or do you mean?
Songs.
Oh, okay? So you don't mean score. You mean soundtrack.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the score sounded like, because like he likes to like have his score be the
the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a big mistake. Sometimes some movies are movies that are appropriate mostly for soundtrack-ish things,
Yeah.
but you have to determine based on the content. You can't force your vision onto something like that without making a horrible mistake.
I mean, yeah.
Whatever happened to the remarkable troubadour of the sexy phone? Well, people realized one day that he was playing the saxophone and said, "Why am I listening to this?"
I know it's true, Dulles, though. Like, Kenny G was like, boom. Like, he was like on every commercial, on the radio and TV at one point, and you could identify him by the melody of what, his oboe?
No, it was at tenor sax. Or
Oh, he was a sax.
yeah, it was. But the saxophones that are the higher range of saxophones, they look straight like a oboe or like a clarinet or something. They don't look.
Oh,
they don't have
really?
that scoop thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I remember his tight curls too.
He had long hair. He was a long hair.
Yeah.
You know who else had long hair? Fabio.
Yes.
And Fabio, frequently found himself shirtless with some lady in his arms, either like fainted maybe or like leaning against his shoulder or whatever. That happened to him so often that eventually he just stopped putting his shirt back on. How deep is this water you're swimming in, Ruben? Or is it just like this deep so that you can still be on the phone while you're swimming? So I was interested to hear the other day, I don't remember exactly when, apparently Dave's Superpowers and Shannon have scrapped their system and come up with a new system or something.
That sounds tedious.
If I had taken their class, I would ask for my money back.
That's
Right.
fair, yeah.
All right, you taught me something that you now say is all bullshit.
Well, can't you see them being like, well, you paid for the course, so if you want to advance your skills with our new knowledge,
Yeah, right.
you gotta pay.
I tell you what, we're gonna give you credit for two classes, okay? If you sign up for a year. Does that make you feel better? Because I'm with you. Hey, I want to know the right thing, and we want to know as much as you do, and that was part of that process of coming to be right. So all you got to do is pay us $799, 4 installments of $799 for a year's worth of courses, and you can be updated to the new and improved Dave Superpowers and Shannon 2.0. What's bothering you, Rachel?
I feel a little bit like guilty because I want to talk to my mom and my dad about like everything that's happened like this past couple days, because they know, like, they were asking before like the concert if we like about it, and like I just have been like in such a like not like
Did you take vitamins today?
yeah.
Well, it's not too late. Well, not quite 9 o'clock on the East Coast. You can call one of them right now and get it out of the way. Go upstairs for a few minutes, call them, talk to them.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Then you wouldn't feel guilty about it anymore.
I'll I really want to do. But I should.
All right. Well, if you do that, I'll make us burgers.
Okay.
I don't really want to make burgers, but I'll do it. And then we'll both get a chore out of our way.
And then I am PMSing.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
that. Okay. That's what it is.
Yeah, I'm a little emotional. There's a song in my head that like you played when you were testing out music for chapter tracks, and like it gave me vibes of like me on summer vacation with my parents in Europe, and like it being so bittersweet. I listened to that song like over and over on that trip.
What song was it?
Was it something I said? I don't know why I liked it so much, but okay.
Did I put it on Chappy Tracks?
No, because it's like lo-fi, doesn't go anywhere. It's not chappy.
Okay.
I'll be back.
All right, cool. I'll start the burgers. All right, friends, so now I'm going to teach you how to make burgers. Because you come here to learn how to do things. Not just to hear me chitter-chatter away about whatever. And I want you to know that I know how to do things and that I'm willing and able to show you. For those of you who are doing Jello shots, now's a good time to take one. I won't be joining you. I applaud your effort. Oh, wait. Oh. Look all the way out. Well, too far very well. I didn't know we really had anything easy to make. Do you think Rachel will be disappointed if she gets French bread pizza instead of burger? Alright, so change of plans. I'm going to teach you how to make French bread pizza instead. Everybody get out your notebooks. Right at the top, French bread pizza instructions. Okay? I'm going to ordinate this for you to make it nice and easy. So just write, you'll be able to write down number one, you bullet point it. If you're working on a laptop or something, say in Google Docs, well, it will automatically make your, whatever they call that for you, outline. It'll automatically make the ones and A's and whatever for you. So, step one, remove your French bread pizza. Actually, let me start with it. Scratch step one out. If you're writing in pen, sorry, just scratch it out. If you're writing in pencil, erase it. If you're on the computer, just backspace, backspace, backspace. Step one, preheat oven to 400 degrees. So what you're going to want to do is find the turning knob on your oven. It should be probably somewhere around here. And if you look closely, it'll tell you little numbers next to it. You want to find the number that says 400, that means 400. And then you're going to have to wait a bit because it doesn't instantly get to 400 degrees. According to my oven, it takes 10 minutes. All right, so now that you've preheated your oven, you're preheating your oven, you've turned the knob to 400, and you're waiting for it to get there, temperature-wise. We're going to go on to step two. Step two, write this down. Remove the plastic from your French bread pizza. You can use scissors. You can use your teeth. You could try to rip it out open with your fingers. But one way or another, you need to remove this plastic. If you were to, say, for example, cook these in the oven with the plastic on them. I've never done this, but I imagine the plastic would melt onto your French bread pizza, rendering it inedible. So, in order to prevent that, we remove the plastic. Now you want to set both of your French bread pizzas. Step 3, write this down. Step 3. Actually, go back before step 2. Okay, make a new step 2. Step 2, get out a cookie sheet. Step 3, remove the plastic from the French bread pizzas and place them on the cookie sheet. Okay. Step 4 is going to be one that's going to give a lot of people a lot of problems because nobody likes to do this. Step 4 is wait. You must wait for the oven to become 400 degrees. If you have some different kind of oven like than mine, say, for example, you're trying to cook your French bread pizzas in a kiln, then what you're going to want to do is load the kiln with either wood, coal, or some other fuel that you're burning. And then just after it's got a good hot fire going, stick your head in there. If you can keep your head in there for more than 5 or 10 seconds, it's probably not 400 degrees yet. It's a good point. Does taking a bunch of vitamin B make your pee yellow? Does it? Does it? Does it? Does it? Does it? Does it? I had asparagus at the Madonna Inn, and later at the show, I went pee in the bathroom at the venue, and my pee smelled like asparagus. Or it smelled like asparagus pee. Oh, really? B12 makes your pee very, very yellow? Why? How? For what reason? Explain. I want an explanation. Smells like I'm peeling out. Asparagus is like burning rubber. Oh, asparagus does. Oh, check, the bees are water soluble. They must be taken a few times a day. The body does not store bees. Oh, really? So, how long do they stay in your system for? Oh, so it doesn't mean you're more dehydrated? That's good. So, that's good. My concern would be taking a bunch of B12 made you dehydrated or something. If it's just it adds like food coloring to your pee, basically, then fine, I don't give a fuck. Peak yellow. And then you have the yellow crash. Oh my God. It was so good when my pee was yellow, but now it's just regular looking again. I'm depressed. I knew something was going on with Rachel. I asked her how she's feeling. She says, great, wonderful, or whatever, but I could tell something was going on with her. And it turns out that what's going on with her almost certainly is just premenstrual syndrome. Premenstrual syndrome. Don't do it, Eric? Don't do what? She's the one who said she was peeing last night, and I didn't hypothesize that. It's unlikely I'm going to come up with that because the shift of her mood is subtle, right? It's not like she's being a bitch or whatever. I like this effect, the way this sunlight looks. Doesn't it look cool? I can just tell that something's off a little bit. She's not happy, right? So I asked her after first I said, "How are you feeling?" And I said, "Is something bothering you?" Because I can just tell there's something wrong. It's like that she's not happy for the room. Look at this laser beam right here. Oh my God! That laser knocked my teeth out. What a great laser beam. You can't see it at all in real life. I see no such laser beam at all. But I see it here, clear as day. I think it's something paranormal, like a ghost. Hold on. Let me just shoot my laser eyes over there. There, I shot my laser eyes. Could you see it? Anyway. Ever since I got laser eyes, everyone's like, shoot your laser eyes at this, shoot them at that. I'm like, my laser eyes are not a toy. You know? They're only for fighting crime. Ignore Ruben. You can continue to like this video and force more laps on him. Fighting crime's not doing good. I thought people were supervisors how to fight crime. We're going to go back inside in a little bit, and guess what we are going to do once we are in there? We're going to listen for, we're going to look at, and otherwise determine whether or not the oven has reached a temperature of 400 degrees. Right now, you guys are all paused on step 3. That is not the last step. Don't put your notebooks away yet. Keep your pencils primed and be ready to learn soon enough. Step 4. Here we go. Let's smoke this bong rip. Wow. Well, that was a good bong rip. Step 4, exclaim, it is risen. No, Ruben, that's not what we do. Because that exclamation is a possible, but neither necessary nor sufficient condition to the completion of the task at hand. It would be bad TE to include that step in teaching you this lesson, okay? So just let me be the teacher, okay? And you get back there to your desk and you get your notebook out and stop playing with your fidget spinner and get ready to learn. All right, let's go check on our food that we're cooking. I get it. This is not a beginner's level meal that we're doing. This involves some pretty advanced techniques. It would appear to be done preheating because there's nothing here. See that? But it's totally cold. What about? Is the oven broken? The broiler works. So what should we conclude about that? It's not. Is the pilot light on? Where's the pilot light of this thing? You guys are so clumsy. I've asked you to please be careful. Okay, well, something's wrong with the oven. Well, I've already taken this out of plastic. Fine. You win, oven. The broiler works. I see the broiler things right there. So I see the fire. So I'll just broil it for a while. How long? Well, let's try first 15 minutes. Because normally you cook those things for 20 minutes. I don't know if the broiler's going to cook it faster or slower, so I just put it in for 15 minutes like that. And now I got to figure out what's wrong with my oven. Not the sort of thing I really felt like dealing with right now. I tried rebooting it. Power cycle it, Eric. It didn't seem to be meowing, you know? Like, in other words, when I start the broiler, it goes, you hear the sound of like gas starting, and it goes click, 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 and then the broiler lights on fire. But when I start the oven, same thing, you hear this, but then click, 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 but it doesn't light on fire, and then the gas, I guess, stops going. Because it doesn't smell like gas either. It probably has some safety feature that prevents that from occurring, you know? Because everybody loves safety. That sucks that my dryer and my oven both broke at the same time. But I'm going to try to fix them both myself. A worn down regulator? Well, you could say any such words and I'd be like, hey, I don't know like a while. I'm going to Google it right now. What does it mean when my broiler works but my oven won't get hot? What does it mean when your oven is cold? Does it mean you can't cook anything? What does it mean when your oven is, when your broiler works, but oven doesn't? Let's see. Why would the stove and broiler work, not the oven? In an electric range, the cause is either the thermostat, electric range control, or the bake bottom element, or a broken wire. In a gas range, it's either the oven control or the igniter or safety valve or a broken wire. There. Let's try this one. So it looks like the gas safety valve for the bake. Okay, so igniter coming on, igniter not glowing. Power tested to the igniter with bake set. Well, that's all well and good, but let me look at some other explanations. Not electric, but gas. I could put propane in. Maybe I should put that. I'm gonna do the Quora answer. And check the oven igniter. Whereas I had this multi-tool that I bought to fix the dryer with. So I could use that to check these things. Check oven temperature sensor test. Check igniter amperage. Igniter amperage ratings. Okay, well, I guess that's what I have to do first, is do those things. So, no point in reading any further about it until I do those things. I can't do anything right now because I'm using the broiler to cook food in the oven. See what it says here. I'm reading comments and stuff. If you fix it, follow the safety rules of explosive gas. Yeah, I mean, obviously I'll turn off the gas before actually, I'm not sure. I have to watch the YouTube videos about it and then follow those instructions. I don't know what I'm gonna do. If it says turn off the gas, I'll turn off the gas. I don't know how to get to behind my oven though, so hopefully I don't have to get behind it. Six more weeks of summer. Uh-oh. Well, it's like appliances tend to break down after a certain number of years. Certain components on them can have a shelf life, or an operating life of however many number of years. And, in the dryer, it was the high temperature fuse, and like it's basically like a backup temperature fuse. The video recommended replacing them in pairs. Mine apparently are both blown out. So maybe they both blew out in the same. Like one blew out and then it caused the other one to blow out. I don't know. But I'm replacing both of those. Well, I mean, the thing is, my oven is, if you look at it, it's crammed here between these two green parts, or whatever you call this part, counter. It's got like 1 centimeter on either side of it. So I guess I have to get underneath it and sort of pull it out. I'm not sure how much like gas hose it has in the back of it. Hopefully I don't have to get behind it, you know. Let's take a look at ye old French bread pizzas. Seem to be looking pretty good. Let them go for another 5 minutes at least. Maybe a little longer. We'll see. Okay, so while we're waiting, let's make a voyage into the land of the garage. I'll get refreshment in the form of a last Klaus Taller. Because, good. Guilt. When I was just a little baby boy, my mama used to tell me these crazy things. She used to tell me my mom was an evil man. She used to tell me he hated me. But now I got a little bit older and I realized she was the crazy one. So says Eminem, so say us all. Eminem, patron saint of Mother's Day. Now there's a man who loves his mother. I'm going to dance my way into your heart. I like your moves, big boy. Is what I've heard so many times. It's like, ladies, can you come up with something a little more original than that? If you want to watch a pretty funny music video, I mean, I will say very funny music video. I don't generally think comedy and music ends up working well together, more or less. But this thing's hilarious. Watch White Woman's Instagram page. It's so funny. It's so funny because it's so true. How true is it? As true as the night is blue. Ruben, I concluded Spacey might have possibly been right. About Ruben? Well, Everyone's entitled to conclude whatever they want. The thing is, of course, I forget sometimes that conclude means end, right? And now we shall conclude means it's coming to an end. So to reach a conclusion then is to come to an end of analysis of it. So to conclude that something might possibly be, well, that's not really a conclusion. I mean, yes, it's maybe an update from your previous status for that matter, but not every update predicates on a conclusion. Or does it? Bum, 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 bum. Not necessarily. You could predicate on knowings. That's for sure. So conclusions and knowings are different things. The conclusion is the result of a deliberative process. But in that regard, of course, our respect is perfectly within his diction lane to say that he's concluded a line of deliberation and needs to update the status of his position on something. Well, what else would you call it but a conclusion? It's a conclusion that unconcludes a matter that had previously been concluded, but it's still a conclusion of sorts. Like, I've come to the conclusion that my glasses fob is a really good solution. Really good SITE. Because now, if I want to take my glasses off, and like put them on the table. Oh, I put them on the table because I don't know what to do. Now watch. Now watch. Watch and be amazed. Watch and be amazed what happens. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, I just gotta forget about my glasses I left on the table. Oh, I just gotta walk away. What? What? Oh, my glasses. I should have put them here instead. Thank you, glasses fob. So that's my glasses fob is great. Glasses necklace thing is horrible because glasses necklace thing is hard to put on and take out. You got two things, you get string on, you get something on around your neck all the time. It's bad. You don't want that. I don't want that. You might want that, but I don't. Ruben definitely wants that, but he wants strange things, and we all know that. He said instead of turkey or ham for Thanksgiving this year, he wants pheasant or goose. So where are you going to get a pheasant or a goose? He said, actually, I have a store near me called Pheasants and Gooses. To which I asked, isn't it called Pheasants and Geese? And he said, no, it's owned by non-native English speakers. I said, where are they from? He told me Canada. At that point, I just stopped that line of inquiry. You know what? Never mind. I never did quite get the exact reason why Ruben wants to eat either a pheasant or a goose instead of a turkey or ham this holiday season. But he was quite adamant about it, so much so that it made me a little bit concerned. Where I pull the string and it says stuff that is technically okay but still quiets the room. Racist bears. Racism has gotten so bad that even the bears have caught it. Do you know nearly 1 out of 1,000 people mauled by a bear is black? It's true. Very good meme. Things black people don't do. Get mauled by bears. Yeah, black people don't get mauled by bears. Why? Because bears are racist. From the bear's perspective, they're doing you a great honor by mauling you. So when they don't maul black people, they're trying to diss them. I don't want feathers, but when I was a kid, while I was collecting, blah, 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 blah. We were collecting beer bottles. Why were you collecting beer bottle caps? Why were you collecting bottle caps? Explain it to me. It's like, imagine them putting together an animatronic bear and inserting AI in it. But when they turn it on and they introduce it to the world, it turns out it's racist. And the scientists can't explain where it came from. The AI seems to have generated it independently of anything. Like me, it's racist against Vikings. But it's also racist against Guatemalans and Swedish people. So it's very precise in its racism. I tell you what's really sexy, a bathtub filled with bottle caps. That would get you clean. The scratchy edges would scrape off all the dead skin as you roll around in the bottle caps. Sometimes, Ruben, do you wish you were still out there collecting bottle caps? Sometimes do you think to yourself, maybe my bottle cap years were the best it's ever going to be? Well, buddy, I got some news for you. That's called the human condition. Time passes. Okay? Let it go. It's time to move on from your childish obsession with bottle caps. It's time to start collecting something more adult, like stamps. I want you to start collecting stamps, Ruben. And whenever you go out on a date, bring your stamp collection with you and show your date your stamps while you guys are at the restaurant. Okay? Because you want to talk about a panty dropper. It's a man with a stamp collection who's willing to show it to his date at dinner. I mean, seriously, if you look on most of the dating sites, like women's profiles and stuff, what are they looking for, man? I'd say about 60% of the profiles say stamp collector. I mean, some of them say philately enthusiast. Philately being the hobby of stamp collecting. How many people here knew the word for the hobby of stamp collecting is philately? Not many of you. Not many of you. That's why you all failed the vocabulary test. Even the ones who got it right. Because I'm only writing one letter today. The letter is F. I've just made that decision. I refuse to write any letters other than F today. Oh, I forgot about the pizzas. Oh no. Oh no. I forgot about the pizzas. Oh no. Oh no. Will they all be burned? Oh no. Oh no. I forgot about the pizzas. Let's hurry in there and take our turn. What about the 4? Will it be unnecessary? Have the pizzas burned? Should I put them on the floor? We've got a world of hurt in front of us, friends. A world of hurt. Who knows how long these things have been in there? Ah! Why didn't anybody remind me? It's your fault that I've ruined these pizzas. You know what? They're not necessarily ruined. You might be able to eat these. These are... I mean, okay, they're a little overcooked. They're a lot overcooked. I'm not going to deny that. Okay, they're a lot to a very lot overcooked. I'm not going to deny it, but they're not actually burned per se. This one's sort of, well, they both sort of burned. It still seems like you could eat that maybe. When Rachel comes downstairs and she realizes there are no burgers, just burned frozen pizzas, well, she's entitled to issue a stern finger wag for sure. But let's pretend this is fine. What do you say? I think, let's pretend it is. I think it is. It's fine. We can eat that. We're like professional eaters around here. We eat all kinds of things. It's like if we were on Naked and Afraid, we'd have to eat like bugs and shit. We can eat that. No problem. Alright, let's see what else we have to eat. It's in here. We do have a lot of top ramen. We got Express Mac, which is macaroni and cheese dinner. We've got Chef Boyardee's overstuffed beef ravioli. What's this? We've got Madras lentils from the subcontinent of India. We got a hamburger helper. We do have hamburgers, but no hamburger. Black beans and rice. We have other things, other places that I could look at. You know, this is my modesty box. It helped me be extra modest. Or extra coquettish, like this. Oh, don't look at me. Or I just wear the hat. It's a pretty good hat. I'm going to take a bite of one of these things in a second. And we will see. We will see if they're edible or not. I like this hat, actually. It's a pretty good hat. Bottom ramen? What's in the fridge? There's not really anything in the fridge. There's a yogurt, some potatoes, a couple of cheeses, some candy, some excessively old donuts. They're not exceedingly old, but they're excessively old. In other words, too old for donuts. Yeah, I've never had bottom ramen, but what happened is first the bottom ramen company started bottom ramen. Then the medium ramen company started medium ramen. And they started taking away a lot of the bottom ramen company's business. Finally, but some genius in, I don't know, Japan, I guess, said, hey, how about this? Let's start the top ramen company. There's no place above top. And this is fine. This is edible. It's a little, you know. Overcooked, but I'd rather have a pizza in front of me than chop a piece off the front of me. That's a pretty good one of those things. What's that lady's name again? Who made up? I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a front of the bottom. What's that lady's name again? This is a bit of an acquired taste as well. I'll just tell Rachel, I thought you said well done. Did I mishear that? I'd bring her up her burnt pizza right now, but I feel like I need to give her a little bit of a warning ahead of time. Well, I will say probably because it was in the broiler that it's less burnt than it looks. It wasn't overdone than it looked. So it's actually fine, really, but it doesn't exactly look fine. Bottom Ramon. Bottom Ramon is a good name for a band or a guy named Ramon who's making music, you know. The Top Ramon would be a good name for probably an even better one. For like a rapper named Ramon. I'm a rapper named Ramon and I'm at the top. They call me Top Ramon. He wanted to singing songs. He didn't just rap. He was huge back in '92. Hmm. Yeah, it was fun. That's really good too. I can't believe this hat was sitting in the pantry for such a long time. I'm just gathering dust. It's comfortable. It's just the next trend. It's warm, but also cool. Waterproof, windproof, lightning proof, tsunami proof. One of the safest hats you can buy. Now, granted, I don't live in a particularly tsunami-prone region. One can never be too safe. It's always better to have a hat that is resistant to tsunamis than one that's not. The way it works is like a picture a tsunami is coming towards me. Okay, I've got my front towards it. The tsunami hits this hat. And it goes on either side of me. As I say, you shall not pass. So, this has been the most powerful hat since Carmen Miranda's fruit hat, which was actually responsible for diffusing the Cuban Missile Crisis. People give Kennedy credit, but behind the scenes, what was really going on? Carmen Miranda did a wonderful dance in her fruit hat for JFK and Soviet Premier Brezhnev. The outcome? Shaking of hands, peace, no nuclear war. Whew, close one. You know, she went to her grave not revealing that her role in that secret government program. The thing is, it was neither our government nor the Russians who implemented this government program. That's right. It was the Panamanians. They're the ones who had the fruit. You had to be a fruit-rich nation to fund that hat. Or at least subsidize it. I mean, they couldn't fund it entirely, I guess. It was just Panama, All the money they have is squeezing down boats so they can sail through the middle of their country. Well, thanks a lot, Panama. Another $100 just to sail my boat through here? What the fuck? Why don't you go suck on some bananas? That's what the boats usually say. Well, not the boats, but people on the boats. Like the boat driver. The boat driver's assistant. Those such people. Boat people. You know who's not a boat person? This guy, right here. This guy. He is no boat person. There. Now, what you see is somebody who says, what this looks like is a man who's wearing some kind of academic Vespers hat because it's got this thing, And you're right. After PhD, certain universities, secret universities, offer a course of study in super PhD. And this is the hat that they wear. So, Vespers to you, my friend. As you can see, I could cock things, that's true. But, Winston's mom, after a long, hard day of doing chores like cutting up boxes and schmigging the schmeow, well, I'm not in a cocking mood. My cocking finger is tired. Because the thing about cock, before I can use it, I have to get at that little thing that you squeeze the thing. And then sometimes it's hard to squeeze the thing. Hurts my fingers, I don't know for sure I'm gonna have a good cocking experience. Sometimes you get cock on your fingers, you try to get it off with the other fingers, and you get it all over your hand, and you're, why is cock so stuck here? And then they inform you it's because it's made out of cum. The key ingredient in most silicone caulking agents like these is man seed, more commonly known as semen. Human semen, yeah. Turns out it's one of the stickiest substances known to man. That's why when you ejaculate on your stomach, all the hairs around your belly button are like stuck there, like glued together, The only way to even begin to pry them apart is with a blowtorch. So I got all these third-degree burns on my stomach. An upside down game of Scrabble. How do you like the tiles stay on the board? Will they just fall to the ground? Silicock. And then they squirted me with Sillycock. Sillycock is the silly string of cock. It comes in a little spray thing, and it's for playing pranks on the job site. Because who doesn't? Who loves a good prank more than a job site? Do you have any silly string? Yeah, it's over there. Do you have any silly cock? What? CAULK, silly cock? No. Oh. Oh. You must not get a lot of construction workers coming through here. I know. A woman that wants to have big breasts, instead of getting boob implants, you should just craft breasts out of cock. And just make sure you wear a shirt that covers you up all the way down. The most natural looking breasts are going to be made out of silicone, and cock is made out of silicone. So why do it inside your body when you can do it outside your body? You use a cone, a orange safety cone as a mold. That would be fair. Boobs would be a little pointy, but just make sure to take the cone off before you leave the house. Well, I mean, obviously, the industry needs to produce boob molds that you can fill with caulk and attach to your breasts, like stick it there to make it sets a little bit, and then peel off the mold. Sure. We already know boobs are made out of silicone. Fake boobs. And we've got a ready supply of silicone right there. The thing is, we could make some boob colored cock. We don't have to make it white like that. It could be peach colored basically. And then you could have a smaller thing of nipple cock, which makes your nipple out of a pinkish cock. Kind of like decorating a cake. But once you get them firmly attached and you let the silicone set, your cock boobs should be reliable for about a week. They're going to take a good solid week before they fall off, as long as you're careful putting your shirts on and off. But that's why the industry also needs to produce shirts that are specifically designed not to jostle your cock boobs. I'm thinking they've got two holes where the boobs are, and then they've got a covering part that snaps on and snaps around it. So basically, you've got a little I guess like cod piece for each of your boobs. Yeah. Boob cod piece is something that's not really been taken advantage of enough because, of course, people wear bras instead. But what they do is cut holes in their shirt and then make a boob cod piece that snaps around here. That way, whenever they need to get at their boob, they can just rip it right off, and it's there, Because a woman needs to access her boobs probably 6 to 7 times a day, 6 to 10 times a day, you know. Like, yeah, let's say they're short $1. They left their card at home or something. They realize, oh God, I only am short $1 cash at the fast food place. They just go, will this do? Will this do, Ronnie? And Ronnie goes, all right, fine. Well, that's worth 50 cents. Let's do the other one. So that's one of the ways that women use their breast during the day. Let's say they see a baby falling out of a tree. They have to dive and take out their breast so the baby falls on something soft. You might think it would still be soft underneath the clothes, but the baby won't recognize it as something soft. And will be unnecessarily terrified as he's falling towards what he thinks is probably like concrete or whatever. By revealing the breast ahead of time, the baby is soothed. So that's just another example of how a woman might need to use her breast on a given day. You know, she might be carrying something very fragile and needs something very soft to cushion it against as she carries it. So that's another way that a woman uses her breasts in a given day. Most women have 3 to 7 objects hidden between their breasts because they figure it's easy to get to. Plus, it's recommended that women do daily nipple checks 3 times a day. It's basically like a mammogram for your nipples, just to make sure you don't feel any lumps, anything unusual, just for health. So there's a lot of reasons why a woman needs to get to her breast during a given day. And I'm glad I've come up with a good solution for that. You're welcome, women of the world. You are welcome. Listen, I know you were born women, but you're all men to me. Yeah, I think you're, honorary men, okay? Congratulations. You've all earned the status of honorary men. You should be very proud. I should also be very proud for a different reason. I should be very proud because I've got this hat. I am very proud. I should be, and I am. So I don't need to feel any guilt, shame, remorse, regret for failing to be as I should be in this particular moment. And this is a moment I'll remember for the rest of my life. I'll think to myself in 30 years, remember when you had that hat on, Eric? Whatever happened to that hat? That was a great hat. It was so futuristic looking, so angular. That could be maybe like from the future, maybe. It looks like. Probably I am. And even if I'm not from the future, I'll be in the future very soon. So, from the perspective of when I said that. You can call me a time traveler. I move forward through time.
I lost my joint.
There's one right there. I can roll you another one. With whom did you speak on the phone, my dear?
My dad, it was. He says hello.
Good. So there's a French bread pizza. I did French bread pizza instead of burgers. I saw there were a couple of them in the freezer on the stove for you. It looks much more overcooked than it is because the oven's broken. The broiler works, but not the oven. The broiler and the stovetop. So I looked it up on the internet, and another one of those things where we got to use this multimeter to test this fuse, blah, blah, blah. So I kind of feel like, well, a good thing we got the multimeter.
Yeah.
Also, it's just a fact that appliances, certain components on them have only last for a certain number of years. These appliances were probably all bought at the same time, so it makes sense that they break around the same time. You know,
Yeah.
we may have a rash of this shit. Who knows?
All right. That comes with.
Yeah, it comes with the territory. But I'm determined to fix these things myself, save money, yada yada yada.
Yeah, I believe in you.
Well, you believe in me, and I believe the children are our future. Therefore, you vicariously believe the children. Or actually, you commutatively believe the children are our future.
Oh, that's good. I really do.
I'm glad. Because if you think the very old people are our future, you're fooling yourself.
Happy birthday, Carmen's Pim.
And happy birthday also to Carmen San Diego.
Carmen San Diego.
Wherever in the world she may be. So what do you think of my hat, Rachel?
I think it's pretty special. I'm
Yeah,
not sure where you got it from.
I got it from the pantry.
Oh, I think I know where you got it from.
Well, because at first I thought maybe these pizzas were gonna be inedible because they look overcooked, but they were cooked in the broiler. They're actually not really overcooked at all.
Oh.
When you eat them, it just looks extra brown on top. So I think
That's fine.
they may be overcooked a little bit, but I think you'll find that they're way better than they look. Okay.
I'm sure.
So hopefully you'll like it.
I will.
Okay. Anyway, I thought for a second they might be inedible, so I went to the pantry and I was looking through things, and I moved that Indian thing. I took this box out to throw it away, and then I realized I'm not throwing this away.
Yeah. Why would you throw that away?
The fire is hot.
It is.
I look like I'm from the future.
You don't look like you're from the future. I'll be right back.
All right. Somebody talking in German. I wonder if Germany's here. If they are, did they bring any bratwurst or any of their beer? No, it's just Lederhausen's. Well, never mind then. I'm not excited about the Germans being here anymore. All right. I've got my glasses on. We're taking classes off. So get your asses out and everybody dance. I want you all to dance your way into my heart. Thanks, guys. I stepped away for a minute. You're welcome. We held your spot for you. So you can still have the same chair and the same standing area. You're talking with famous people. We afford all participants both a chair and a standing area. So they can either sit or stand as they see fit. And none of the places obstruct the view of any of the other places. So you all get a clear view directly right up front of me on stage doing my TED Talk. I see.
Yes.
You found them.
Yeah.
Did I give you the one I rolled?
Yeah, you did.
Okay. I thought maybe I had smoked it. I saw that, you know. Sometimes I smoke it myself because I forget what I'm doing. It's been a fantastic day for Karma Spam. I've live streamed a couple of times, so how could it not be? And besides that, I sent him, and he received today, a birthday present That's right. It was a metaphysical box of my goodwill. See, the nice thing about this hat as well is I can see you right now, but you can't see my eyes. I can read the chat, but you can't see what's really going on behind my eyes. Because I've got, basically, it's like an awning for my eyes. It's like a brim to a hat, but this is a little bit more severe. This hat knows what shape it wants to be, a rectangle. And this shape, a rhombus.
Oh, you don't hear that. You don't see that shape very often.
No, you don't. And you don't see it represented in the world of hats very often.
No.
So, of course, the great thing about this hat, I can change my look entirely. Simply by doing this.
It really does change your whole look.
Yeah, it really does. So it's like one of those sweaters you could wear either way, inside or out, and it still works. You can't really wear it on the side, but if I had a bigger one, you can kind of just prop it like this. This is like runway. This is more couture.
That is more couture. What does couture actually mean?
It means
wrong.
made like, I guess maybe like set up on the person or something. Like,
Okay.
bro, get drip on. Bro, got drip on. Do I have drip? I wish I had some drip. All I have is just this word. Would you like this though, kid? You can have it. Here you go. Can you throw it away for me? Thanks. Put it in there. Anyway, I really feel like a new man. I've got my glasses fob, and that really changes everything. Like Rachel was saying the other day about how she's like, the trash can over here next to this chair changed my life or something like that. I don't know what her exact words were, but
Pretty much though. Because I don't ash on myself as much anymore.
because you have a trash receptacle where you have needed it for many purposes besides just blowing things into it.
But
You periodically have trash. So I'm surprised that it took me that long to put a trash can over next to you. I put a trash can next to me a lot sooner than I put a trash can next to you. I guess I was just figuring, well, she wants to. I didn't think about it at all, but if I had, I would have thought, well, she'll ask me for a trash can. She wants one, I guess. Hey, you got much? I got tall. I got son of a guy. That's what I would have expected. If she had said that, I'd be like, my bad. I get you a trash can too. Uh-oh. But instead, I think one day you were talking about, I asked you, I was making fun of you for always getting ash on you. And then you explained to me why you always got ash on you. Because you were trying to blow out her stem, but you didn't have anything to blow it out into. So you tried to blow it into her hand, and it would go all over and down her boob. She always had ash between her boobs, you know?
always.
So I'm like, okay, you need a trash can.
But that's what it shows you, like,
For some TE Polar.
yeah.
It's also a fourth slot. SE in general is like, well, there's this problem. Grass is forever. Nothing I can do about it. I'm like that about a lot of
that's what I
problems
am
too.
like. Yeah, there's this problem and nothing I can do about it.
Ice boobs. They're ice cubes shaped like boobs. You have to fill up that thing, the little tray with the little boob molds, and then when you serve drinks, you've got ice boobs in them.
I like that.
Yeah, it was it Ruin's notion? Winston's mom's?
We should do that.
Who said
Christmas
ice
party.
boobs first? I like the idea of, but they probably do have, probably the product exists. It's so NI, it probably exists, right?
I would think so. They have like penis everything, so why wouldn't they have penis? I mean, boob, ice,
Ice boobs?
ice boobs, yeah.
They should, yeah, they should have them. They probably do have ice penises as well. I haven't thought about that, but they probably do have those. Lice cubes are a little bit less desirable to put in your drink. Cubes made out of a bunch of lice.
When do you have to meet with Jeffrey?
8:30 is
Okay.
thank you for reminding me. I totally forgot about that. It's 7:15 now.
We've got time.
We have a little time. Yeah, I do have to meet with Jeffrey at 8:30. What does ong mean? O-N-G.
ONG?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ong, ong, ong. I don't know what ong means, but I guess it's wrong of me to expect to know what ong means today. What are you fretting about over there? Did you drop acid or something?
I think I'm not sure. Yeah. I
Did you
don't
burn
know.
a hole?
It's just fucking, yeah.
You burned a
Not a
hole?
hole yet, thank God I didn't actually, like, it didn't burn into a hole, but it, like, made a fucking mark on it. Of course, I can't, like, keep things nice.
Well, I'm keeping this nice.
Yeah, you are.
You think your piercing's cool? Well, look at mine.
I think that's, like, a way to talk to aliens.
This is a future man with a future nose piercing.
You should know. Seriously?
Yeah, in the future, they pierce your nose without even making a hole through it. They just use future technology.
Jeez.
And this little thing continually refills with fresh forest air for you to breathe. Thanks to future technology. Do you know what this is? You know what this is, Rachel?
How am I supposed to answer that? I know what it is for
What's it for?
the end of the.
Yeah, so you know what it is.
Yeah.
This goes on the end of the drapery bar. But one place we put up the drapes, I didn't account for room for both things at the end, so I had to take one of them off there in the dining room. Well, you know, you live and you learn. You live, you learn, you love. You live again, you learn again, you know. And occasionally, you lose.
Yeah.
Like how I lost my other pair of glasses.
I don't.
Right after, like, I don't know, 5 minutes after you gave them to me, it seems like they were gone.
I
Sure, it
know.
was a little longer than that, but ridiculous.
I'll keep my eye out for them.
Well, these glasses aren't going anywhere.
No,
Because
they're not.
thanks to my glasses fob. And note, this is not some regular flimsy string that's going to fray and break or whatever. This is a string from the draperies we took down
Oh.
for a while.
Look at you repurposing.
So it's nice and sturdy. I don't want any kind of ass tea, Ruben, whether it's sweet or unsweetened. I guess if I had to drink ass tea, I'd probably go with sweetened, even though in any other kind of tea I would go unsweetened. I'm going to suggest to the cone putters that a redesign of their hard hats so that they look like this instead. And then it could say on the front of it, sign holder or cone putter.
That's wonderful. I think they will absolutely love that. I mean, their outfits all do look the same, so you can't really tell the cone putter from the sign holder.
So who did you know that was a cone putter?
Harris was a cone putter, is a cone putter. I think he was of the sign holding variant.
That's how you know that sometimes they get their own work crews together and meeting you.
That what?
That's how you knew that sometimes they get their own work crews together and meeting you.
Yeah.
Which is how, when you told me that, that's how I knew that you must have dated somebody who was a cone putter.
Sorry.
Why sorry? You have a lot, you existed before we started dating. That's to be expected, that you existed before we started dating. Otherwise, well, we were briefly disconnected there because Chowa called. And it sounds like some sort of important emergency. We should say she's fretting about one of her children, presumably. Anyway, I was planning on wrapping this up in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Anyways, so I told her I'll wrap this up in the next 5 to 10 minutes and call her back. You know what I bet? I bet Florian Marcoux loves my video about his hat. He's the only Albanian who's passionately in love with that video. Wouldn't that be ironic?
That would be.
But nice call back. Winston's mom on the Florian Marcoux. Surprised you remembered his name. I would not have been able to pull that one out of my ass if you'd asked me what that guy's name was. But reading it, I knew exactly who you were talking about, you know. We'll have to save the jazz metal prog party for next time. I found a band called Panzer Ballet. You had to Google it. Fair enough, Mrs. Mom. Fair enough. I would have had to Google it, too. Anyway, Florian Marcus asked me to design for him a new hat style, and this is the prototype. That's where this hat came from. I call it the Helen Gurley Brown.
Ooh, that's why it's so fashionable.
Yeah.
Ahead of its time.
It's in honor of course, Judy Garland.
Oh.
Wait, no. I mean, Helen Gurley Brown. All right. Well, I guess all good things must come to an end, including this live stream. I must tell you, I have found every moment entrancing. And it's because of all of you good people and your enchanting splendor. Have a wonderful evening, and don't forget to eat
Plenty of cheese.
There we go.